Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch, and welcome to a bit of a quickie unboxing. Today's subject is not a new watch, rather it's a new colour version of an affordable classic. That being the Casio Aqua Terra, or at least that's what I call it anyway. Technically it's a Casio EREBUS EFV-100D-9 AVUEF. You can see now why I call it the Casio Aqua Terra, I'm sure. I think Casio have been looking at Citizen's homework recently because Citizen seem to be bang on trend in terms of the colour choices of their Tsuyosa range. Indeed, this particular shade of yellow on the Casio does look rather familiar. Now these watches are all over eBay. I'll leave a couple of links in the description of the video if you're interested in picking one up for yourself. Let's flip the camera and peel off some stickers. Alright, so if this is all about the new colours then, let's have a look at the new colours. Casio seem to have dropped 3 new versions of this at the same time, the most sensible of which is undoubtedly the kind of silver grey on the left. In between, literally and figuratively today, is that kind of sky blue. I wouldn't quite describe it as Tiffany, I'd call it more sky blue. And on the right, the least sensible, but obviously the one that I bought, is Tsuyosa Sunshine, a kind of attractive mix of yellow and orange. Or at least we're about to find out if it is indeed an attractive colour. That was the colour of Tsuyosa that I bought, so it made sense to buy the Casio in that colour as well. And yeah, it's rather nice. It looks flat, it doesn't look like there's any sunburst on the dial, but then again, that's not necessarily a bad thing because that is quite a strong colour. I'm not going to run through the model reference again. The important part though is that it is a 100. The 100 has 40mm diameter and a screw down crown. I looked at the 100, then the 140, which was a 42 version with the horizontal stripes on the dial. My conclusion was the 100 was the better watch, so I was delighted to see them launch some new colour versions. Let's peel off some stickers. And the last one, the money shot, the dial protector sticker. Oh, it even made a very satisfying noise as it came off. Look, there's obviously a lot of video to go and I'll show you the dimensions, the specifications, we'll look at the dial, the hands, the loom, etc, etc. But basically, I think these are really good. Now it's a sub $100 watch. I think I paid 125 Aussie plus tax, so about 140 Aussie, which is about 90-95 USD equivalent in today's money. It's inevitably going to have compromises at that price. It's only mineral crystal and the bracelet's a bit janky, but it wears so nicely. It's a good looking, clean, handsome watch. Check that side profile. You just know that is going to fit your wrist beautifully. And my comparisons to the Aqua Terra are not misplaced. Hands, indices, overall layout definitely bearing a strong similarity to this 2017 version. And there are also similarities between the Casio and the Seiko Sarb, particularly when you consider the side profiles of the two watches. Again, the Sarb is another one that just wears beautifully. So it seems that if you want a watch to wear beautifully, you should consider a side profile like this. We certainly did when we designed the EREBUS Ascent. But the Casio, of course, much cheaper than all of those alternatives. Alright, let's get this one sized and then run through the dimensions. That didn't take too long, just push pins holding it all together, but no issues. Alright, so dimensions then, 40mm in diameter, bang on 11mm thick. You can see why it wears so sweetly. 47.8 lug to lug, which is perhaps a mil longer than you'd expect. Oh my goodness, a whole extra millimeter, but check the curvature, it's just not an issue. 20mm between the lugs, it tapers down to 18, back up to 20 at the clasp. As sized for my 7-inch wrist, I had to remove 3 full-size links. It weighs in at 116 grams. 100 meters of water resistance, screw down crown, flat mineral crystal only today. Unfortunately, perhaps I will consider a sapphire upgrade for this particular one. And the module in the back is Casio, of course, it's a 5507. Nothing untoward here, screw down, triple branded, stainless steel case back, so EREBUS logo, EREBUS and then Casio, 100 meters of water resistance. But hollow end links, yeah, big brand Japanese watch, under $100, you know the bracelet is going to be the biggest compromise in the whole package. And indeed it is. We've already seen the hollow end links, and I've mentioned the push pins, though I'm not really going to complain about them for the money, but these links are rolled. However, Casio do it much better than some other brands. Check that, the roll is hidden at the end, meaning you can't see that they're rolled links, and also they don't remove all your bloody arm hairs like that dreadful Timex bracelet that I looked at last week. The clasp is okay, stamped, again double stamped with the EREBUS logo and name. Double security pusher, but only one adjustment hole. The 140, which was the bigger watch at 42mm, had a bigger clasp and 4 adjustment holes, and I wish they had brought that slightly longer clasp over to this one, but I guess you can't have everything. Also, high polished center links. That's part of the style of this Garda style of watch. My Aqua Terra came with high polished center links, although I brushed them out. If I was going to run this one long term, if I could be bothered, I might consider brushing these out as well. But never mind the bracelet, check out that sweet dial. And I am delighted that they didn't put any sunburst effect on here. I think this colour with sunburst might have been a bit too much for this watch, especially when combined with a high polished bezel, the high polished mid links, etc, etc. Those indices are applied all the way around. There's a reasonably well integrated date complication at the 3 o'clock, and I'm not going to complain about the lack of colour matching today because it balances out that other index at 9 nicely. There's a slightly raised minute track around the outer edges and an angled rehaut just with 5-minute markers. It's all so well proportioned. It's triple branded again with the EREBUS logo, the EREBUS brand name and Casio, perhaps a little bit too much above the pinion, but they have made up for that by keeping it really simple beneath the pinion, just WR 100 meters, and Japan movement either side of the index at 6. The handset, all high polished silver, not quite the same as the Aqua Terra, but there are similarities with that arrow hour hand. It's a kind of broadening sword minute hand, and then a nice little arrow second hand with lume near its tip. The proportions are spot on, it's clean, it's handsome, it's a watch that you will enjoy looking at for many years, I reckon. Lume, not so much. Sub $100 watch, you know the lume is generally going to be pretty poor, and indeed it is pretty poor. Casio use their own proprietary lume, they call it Neo Bright, although it's not that bright in this particular instance. It's okay though, as I said, there are inevitably some compromises with a sub $100 watch. But it just wears so nicely. I've got an average size 7-inch wrist for your reference, and this one is just perfect on me. As you saw earlier on, I quite like this Garda style of watch, this kind of simple fixed bezel, 3-hand plus date complication watch. I've got a few of them, including others by Citizen and by Grand Seiko in my collection. And this one wears as nicely as any of those. I really do appreciate the fact that it's under 120 grams as well, and nicely legible. Yeah, good size hands, good size indices, plenty of space on the dial to allow them to breathe as well. It's a nice and easy one to read at this angle. Moans and niggles, well, we've covered them all already, haven't we? The lume isn't fantastic, the bracelet definitely the weakest link though, it's a bit of a rattler, but at least it's comfortable, and mineral crystal rather than sapphire. If you are running one of these as a daily, and they're the perfect affordable daily, that will inevitably pick up scratches. They don't make, or at least I haven't been able to find, a specific aftermarket piece of sapphire for this watch. What I would need to do is take the back off, the crown out, the movement out, and then pop the crystal out, I presume it comes that way, measure it, and source a piece from AliExpress myself. If there are enough comments urging me to do that, then I will do that, because I reckon with a little bit of a double-domed sapphire, wouldn't cost more than about 20 bucks to upgrade, this thing would be gorgeous. Or should that be more gorgeous? The EFV 100 has always been one of the best affordable Garda watches on the market. These new colour versions, it's just going to broaden that market, broaden this watch's already strong appeal. So there you have it, well done for making it all the way to the end of the video. While you're here, why not check out my original review of the white dial from 3 years ago, or my review of the larger version. If 40 is a bit too small, this one is a 42. Thanks for watching this one, I'll see you in the next one.